Hello there.
Well, hello, troopers, and welcome back to General Economics Bunker. Thank you so much for joining me here on another episode of The High Ground. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope that your week has been awesome. I hope that you have been very productive, that you're getting stuff done left and right, and that you're drinking enough water, by the way. And also, for those of you further north than I am, which is pretty much the whole country, I hope that you're staying warm. I see that some people around the New York area are still getting quite a bit of snow. So hopefully you guys are staying safe and warm out there. And yeah, we were at 90 degrees today here in San Antonio. So if y'all want to send just a little bit of that cold my way, I'll take it. All right. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate you always popping in to the high ground. And we're gonna talk about Star Wars today. I know, shocker. Did you know that was gonna happen? Pretty truthful. Did you know that was gonna happen? All right, but yeah, we got a few news to cover in terms again of Star Wars, and one pretty interesting that I just saw right now before the show started. But I also wanna shout out one of our friends, here from the community, Scott, Scotty Keys, Scott Berry, Scott Wins, had a pretty big health scare, this past Friday. Again, as you know, he was um almost, luckily not, almost a victim of the famous Widowmaker, heart attack, right? And luckily he's still with us. And as you know, it's been a struggle. It's been quite the journey, right, for him and Janine. And unfortunately, they found themselves back in the hospital this past Friday. And it turns out that Scott actually has colon cancer. And so Janine's been sharing updates. Luckily, it seems that it was detected, right on time. So yeah, so I just want to take a couple minutes here and shout them out. If you guys here in the community know them, um, send them a little message. There, especially to Janine. I can't even imagine what she's going through right now. I know she is beyond exhausted at this point. It's been a definitely a rough couple of weeks for her now. So yeah, to Janine and Scott, man, I cannot wish you nothing but the best. Two great people, and again, two great members of our community. So yeah, if you have their socials, please reach out. Also, later on, during the show, I'll be dropping their GoFundMe page. If you're in a position to support them, by donating anything, it would be greatly appreciated. And if not, trust me, I understand it's rough times. But if you cannot, then I would greatly appreciate it if you share that link, maybe through your own social media. And, that on its own helps out quite a bit. So, yeah, hopefully, they're a little bit more calmer. I believe they're back home, and I really hope, like I said, I really hope that they can pull through. It's been a rough year for them already. I know we're barely in February, but that yeah. So again, sending them much love, much strength, and once again, if you can, reach out to them, and I'll try to find that GoFundMe link here shortly. But um, but yeah, so okay, so that's shout out to them, and again, hopefully they're doing a lot better. And Scott, all the strength, my man. So once again, I hope that your half of the week has been going great. It's been man, it's been a week. Okay, it's been a week. I was sick. I got sick. So, as you know, I am in San Antonio, Texas. For all those of you tuning in here for the first time, first of all, welcome. Hope that you like it. Hope that you enjoy it. Hope that you're entertained, and I hope that you come back and hang out with us. But I am in San Antonio, and over the weekend we went to the rodeo. So the rodeo and stock show here in San Antonio gets, it's a thing. All right, it's a thing. It lasts for 3 weeks. This is the no, I take that back. This is the third week already. Technically, we went at the end of the second week. Um, and it's, we always like it. We always have a good time. We go every year. 2 years ago, I think we went twice actually. But anyway, we went on Saturday. Much fun. We were out there like, I think we were out there almost 9 hours, guys. Like my kid, loves animals, and then they have like carnival side, with like rides, like mechanical rides. I mean, so he was doing those like for hours and hours, and then we went to see, they have the pigs and the sheep and the cows and all kinds of, very well taken care of animals. Let me tell you, those that stock, that livestock looks very expensive. All right. I don't know that I could afford a single one of those. Um, so anyway, we were having fun. I had a delicious turkey leg. I like snorted that thing. I blinked and it was gone. It was really good. Um, that's the one time a year I get to have them. They're not that common down here for some reason. But yeah, so um definitely overpriced. I did notice that the prices have gone up, especially since last year. We did see quite a bit of a hit. But like I said, very, very fun. However, uh the weather, kind of changed on us, and it started getting pretty cold. And again, cold for us down here, all right? And I didn't have a sweater. Now the wife and the kid had sweaters because they're smart like that. I didn't. And again, this whole thing that I'm narrating, it's basically 90% of it is outside, right? It's outdoors. There are a lot of vendors, inside. Actually, you know what? The rodeo happens in the same place where SpaceCon happens. Those same buildings, the Freeman. And so it's kind of funny, I always think it's funny to see the difference. It's the same building, but obviously the layout and the themes are very different. But I thought it was a little bit funny. So the spot where SpaceCon has their stage, where I was super fortunate enough last year to host that Battlestar Galactica reunion with Edward James Olmos. In that same spot, right now it's a petting zoo, and so I just thought it was kind of funny, right? How the exact same space, very different applications, right? Very different themes. So that was a little bit of a trip. But anyway, so yeah, they got vendors and all that. Um, so yeah, we went to rodeo. I guess it was colder than I thought. It was super windy. That's the thing, and the wind started getting cold at night. And so Sunday, I woke up pretty sick. Um, as you know, I'm old and weak, and so yeah, a Sunday I was not a happy camper. I felt pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie, I felt pretty bad. Um, the whole 9 yards. Body aches. I didn't have a fever, which I thought was weird, but I felt like I did. Anyway, Sunday was like a blur. I think I was awake like 4 hours through the day, like, and I just kept going back to sleep. Anyway, Monday, still didn't quite feel, you know, that great. So I actually took a sick day. My first one in I don't even know, guys. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying like it's been a long time. Um so yeah, my week technically started yesterday, and already feel that it's been a week. Okay, it's been a week. Um but yeah, again, um I understand that, actually a lot of you here in the Bunker Bunch got several feet, that's foot plural of snow. Um, which I'm like, I don't know how that happens on the same planet where today, again, we got up to 90 degrees here in San Antonio. Um, I was literally sweating just getting to my car in the parking lot. And so, yeah, it's kind of funny how that works, you know. But definitely, you know, hopefully everybody's staying safe, everybody's staying warm out there. It's definitely warm down here. So if y'all need to, um, defrost, y'all can come down. We got the space. All right. So enough of me just rambling on. And again, I appreciate you hanging out. But we already have quite a bit of people here in the chat, and I appreciate you all hanging out and sending us message. So, what do you say? And we go through some of them. First and foremost, we got Ultra in the house. Appreciate it, man. So this past Monday being cold again made me feel like there you go. Good reference. Yo, we got Archer from Nerd Affiliated saying live stream. Yes, sir. Welcome, welcome. He's saying hi to Ultra as well. Ultra saying hi back. Ultra with the eBay pickups. Look at that. Very nice. Um, we got Hurricane. What's going on, man? Appreciate you joining, man. Thank you, thank you. We also got Brandon saying hi. What's up, man? Thank you. Appreciate you. We also have Simple Shay. What's going on? Appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. Yeah, Ultra, like I said, yeah, definitely not the news that they wanted. That none of us wanted, obviously, but they're strong, and fortunately it looks like they basically went into the hospital right at the very right time. So they were able to detect it, and I believe my understanding is that they're going in for surgery pretty soon. um so yeah, hopefully, they caught it in time. Hopefully that's it. And they don't hear about it anymore. But again, you guys know Janine and Scott. So Scott's been a guest actually here in in the um, in the bunker. Sorry, in the here in the high ground. So I would greatly, appreciate it if you guys can just send them a few messages, support. And actually, what I'll do right now, if you guys don't mind, I am going to share their GoFundMe um, page. It is loading here in the chat. And actually, I can just show you as well, just in case for some reason you can't see it. But this is what it looks like. This is what Janine's and Scott's GoFundMe page looks like. So we greatly appreciate it if again, if you can donate anything, any amount, that greatly helps. I think we all know that hospital bills are kind of nuts. But if you're not in a position, to help monetarily, that's totally fine. Again, tough times for most of us, really. Um, so I do ask though that if you could share this link, the one that I just dropped here in the chat, if you can share it on your own social media, right, and just let people know that these are good people and these are good members of our community. Hopefully, maybe somebody can donate through you. So again, thank you, and sending our definitely our thoughts, our good vibes, to both Janine and Scott, and we hope to see them, bounce back and be super healthy for the rest of the year. Because man, that is a way to start the year, definitely. All right, so getting back here to the chat. So Ultra sharing a story. Rebels Reptiles Games friends Aaron of Roma Collectibles sadly passed away from cancer. Yeah, man. That's definitely not great. We got Big John in the house saying my favorite podcast. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Big John and I, we got something percolating that we're gonna be talking about here soon here in the bunker. So y'all stay tuned, all right? Um Let's see. We got OBP Kenobi in the house. That more. Yeah, that is true. That is very true. We also got Josue. Thank you so much for joining us, man. We got Tatamont. You are a bold one. I like that. Hello there, says Josue, also pulling double duty. I gotta make sure that the rodeo food is fully cooked. Yeah, no kidding. Um, is Collect saying hello, everyone? What's up, man? Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate you. Nerd affiliated saying Amanda said tell you I love your intro and something about you bragging about sick. I missed it because I had to do something with the printer. No worries, man. Hey, you you don't gotta apologize because you're working on my BFG 3000. All right, I know it's coming in the mail. I am so excited and I'm so ready for it. Do I have room for it? Absolutely not. Is that gonna stop me? Nope. All right, so we got we got my kid using my wife's account, sending me emojis. Go to sleep, kid. Love you. We got Brian in the house. Love the room, bro. Reminds me of Toys R Us. Appreciate you, man. How's it going, dude? I see you working out there, man. Can't wait to see what you guys have prepared for us. So, if you guys don't know, Bryant is actually, he doesn't just love Star Wars. He gets to help make Star Wars. All right. So Bryant actually works in the production of many of the shows, and he has some awesome stories, guys. Like we should get him on the we should get him here. We should sit him down and have him tell us firsthand uh, some of the awesome stuff that he's worked on. And it's a lot, guys. Like trust me, this man has stories for days. Uh, Cheers. Ah, nice pause for hydration. All right. So once again, here is the GoFundMe page, the link for it, and I would greatly appreciate it if you check it out. We got Action Joe Fix in the house saying, "Good evening, everyone. Appreciate you joining, man. Thank you." Yes, sir. So we got the Nerd Squadron joining us here, um, saying prayers for brother Scotty. Yeah, man, for sure. Action Joe saying hi to Ultra. Hey, Chris says OBP. Thanks for the link, General. Yeah, yeah, for sure. And thank you guys for listening to me ramble about it. But they're good people, right? We're gonna get a second mortgage so that we can go to the road. Dude, like you're not kidding. So the tickets weren't like that bad, but they went up, or at least in my mind, they went up. I think it was something like $15 per person, and then the rides or the carnival, I guess, side of it has these bracelets, right? So we bought like the unlimited, and um that was what, like that was over $50, dude, for like one day, right? Now I'm not complaining too much because the kid had a blast and we were there for hours and he rode, you know um he didn't ride every single ride, um but the ones that he did, he went like several, but like multiple times. So he was doing like 8 or 10 times each ride. Says, if you guys see Mr. B's latest Instagram post, it's been snowing where he lives to the point it's like actually art. Yeah, dude, I saw uh, I saw him. He was posting that trench run, right, that he did on in the snow. Thought that was funny. Action Joe Fix says, last year turkey leg was $20 and go to HB and buy a whole turkey. Oh well, let me tell you how much this this dumb guy. Let me tell you how much I paid for a turkey leg this year. You're absolutely correct. Last year it was $20 and I didn't buy one and I regretted it. I kind of really wanted one, but I was like, I should have just spent the $20. So in my mind, this year I'm like, boy, treat yourself. All right, treat yourself. You've been doing great. I haven't. You've been killing it on YouTube. I definitely haven't. So you deserve that turkey leg, right? I don't. I shouldn't be eating that stuff, but I did go for it. So I was like, one turkey leg, please. That was like almost the first thing I did as soon as I walked in. Um, it's $22 now. It's literally 10% more from one year to another. 22 buckaroos for a turkey leg. Was it good? Yeah. You bet it was great. It's the best one I've ever had. And yeah. I left nothing but the bone, and even that I was chewing for like an hour because I'm getting my $22 worth of turkey. But Action Joe Fix, you are absolutely right. Yo, look who it is. We got royalty in the house. Joseph, my man, has been killing it with the convention appearances. So, in case you guys don't know, Joseph, he is a very talented, very dedicated actor. Um, I should say, working actor, right? He's been in plenty of stuff, including. Sorry, oof, I felt bad. Which side goes numb when you're having a heart attack? Anyway, um, he's been in Stranger Things. He's been in a few like actual Hollywood movies, and so Joseph, we met through the convention, circuit, um, and he is a fan still, right? And so he shows up and he's met Hayden, and he's met a bunch of people, but now my man has made the jump, the jump over the walled garden, and now Joseph is actually guest at conventions, which I think is absolutely awesome. Um, I'm not jealous like at all. I'm super jealous. Okay. But very well deserved, Joseph. Many, many more of those. Much, much success, man. Because you're pretty hardworking. So, yeah, I'm super glad to that. Every time you post another con, what are you up to now? Like 5 cons? How many have you done already? Like, dude, you were doing them like freaking, pancakes like for the last couple of months or so, which is awesome, man. And I love seeing you, interact with the people. So yeah, hopefully, we get to catch up. If nothing else, I guess Rebels Comic Con, right? I think you're still coming down for that. So yeah, man, we gotta hang out. Brian says, Brother Circulex, yes, sir. Están bien buenas. We get it once a year in the county fair. Listen, bro, we can't put a price on food. Un día estamos y el otro no. Yes, sir. Enjoy life. Very well said, my friend. Very, very well said. Um, yeah, and again, to be honest with you, that was kind of my mentality because I didn't get one last year. And then that's it, really. We don't, I'm trying to think like what place just sells them like that on the regular, and I don't know. There has to be, right, some sort of restaurant or maybe a food truck or something like that. But the point is that you're there, you're at the rodeo, it's the whole vibe. So yeah, it's kind of like our county fair, in that sense. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good, but I did notice the price hike is what I'm trying to say. 10%, I would say, just across the board on pretty much everything. It's kind of friend, miss you, brother. Can't wait to get to. Yeah, dude, for sure, man. We gotta hang out. Yeah, dude, I gotta get your autograph before it gets too expensive for me, man. The best for always ruining shouting out your legacy. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Right back at you, man. Keep up the great work, man. Okay, so jumping on to some bit of news here. I just saw this, so I had a bit of a roster of news right for tonight. But I just saw this pop up, and I kind of want to talk about it first. But before that, let me take a little sippy sip. Mm, 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 mm. All right, where were we? Ah, yes, the actual news. All right, so check this out. You know what? I'm gonna do this one instead. Okay, so Disney insiders are excited about Star Wars Starfighter, however, remain skeptical about the Mandalorian and Grogu. So apparently, Variety published this story that the new incoming CEO of Disney, Josh DeMaro, who's replacing right Bob Iger when he was like, "I'm out, y'all." Talking about what's to come, all that stuff, and obviously some key brands for the roster. But um, he basically said that he's got some thoughts. He's got some thoughts on what the man doing Grogu. So here's the kicker. Here's what I yeah. Let's just read it. So it says apparently the 30-second Super Bowl spot for the man doing Grogu movie was met with skepticism internally. I wonder why. According to Variety, people working at Disney would have felt it was insufficient to generate excitement for a movie that is already considered a question mark, since it may not seem like a big screen proposition for any but the most diehard Baby Yoda lovers. As Variety put it, the movie comes out May 22nd. It released a full trailer a week after Super Bowl, which was received much more positively online. I'm pretty sure everybody here has seen that trailer at this point. Remember we talked about this last time, and remember what I told you? I said I don't have a problem with the short itself. I just have a problem with it taking the spot of something that should have been larger. And I guess I wasn't alone in that sentiment. All right. Apparently, the actual people that make this stuff kind of felt the same, which is interesting because they still put out, that spot. Again, I cannot stress this enough. The spot itself is fun. Yes, I understand it. It's a spoof of past, Super Bowl ads, but I just think the hype was not met. All right. And then remember, I told you, I was like, we're going to get a trailer within the week. And I was off by a day, maybe 2 days. Anyway, I was barely off because sure enough, we got the announcement that we were going to get an actual full trailer and we got it. And it's fun. It's great. I enjoyed it. So here it is. Again, apparently I wasn't that far off. So since the company decided to say they're more excited about next year's Star Wars Starfighters, which they've seen footage, right? And they say that the filmmakers have recaptured the franchise spirit of fun, which I don't know. I thought Mando and Grogu looked pretty fun. They've praised, Ryan Gosling because I mean, let's be honest, what else are they gonna do? They're gonna say that he sucks? Probably not. And so yeah, they're apparently a little bit more excited about Starfighter than Grogu. Apparently, they didn't really mention about streaming. Lucasfilm obviously is working on Ahsoka season 2, and Star Wars may sit out 2027 in terms of live action series on Disney Plus, which is interesting. Which comes at a high contrast to the mandate from the early 2020s to produce as many TV shows as possible. Which obviously again came from Bob Iger, right? So Demar said to take charge on March 18, which is coming up, and it's gonna take it is gonna take a few months to see, right, what he's thinking, to see what his direction will be going forward. But yeah, I thought it's interesting. I thought it's very interesting that their safest property, I would say, the safest, the most widely accepted uh, Star Wars, product under Disney is actually not generating as much confidence as I thought it would, internally at least. Now I'm wondering if these are people that have actually seen the movie or seen a good part of it or were even involved right in the movie. The article doesn't specify, it just says that insiders, right, are not super confident about it, which again, it's interesting. And I think I can see it because going back to the effect that the TV spot that the Super Bowl ad had, right? and then they had to put out a trailer as soon as possible to sort of mitigate that. You know, think we've said enough about that, but even I don't know, by regular like standards, right? We are what, like 3 months away from the movie, almost exactly. Actually, now that I think about it, and we haven't really seen much buzz generating um, campaign, right? And so I don't know. Is that because they think either they're overconfident that people are just gonna show up anyway, just as soon as they see Grogu on the poster and they're like sold, done and done. I'm gonna be in theater, or is it because they're like, you know what, we don't really have a good product on our hands. Let's not sink any more money like we did with the Acolyte, for example. Let's just start. I don't even know how to say, like, pre-cutting our losses, if that makes any sense, and let's start focusing on the next thing, which is Starfighter. Which again, I hope it's a great movie. I really do. But come on, Mando and Grogu is the first movie uh, in years, right? In freaking what, 7 years? Like, how can you not make it a big deal? Um, Again, we're down to 3 months, and I don't know. I don't feel it. Maybe I'm missing all the TV spots. Maybe I'm missing all of the YouTube ads, or Instagram, pushing the movie. But y'all tell me, Bunker Bunch, if you guys have seen a massive amount of advertisement for the Mandalorian Grogu movie. I kind of feel I've been seeing more advertising for the toys lately. After, of course, after the New York Toy Fair and things like that. Um, but I can't say that I felt that it's been a strong PR campaign for the movie. And again, it's Star Wars, guys. It's Star Wars back in theaters. Like, how can we not, you know, be screaming to everybody that it's coming back? I don't know. Like I said, maybe overconfidence or maybe a heavy lack of confidence. I can see it going both ways at this point. Let me jump back here into the chat and catch up really quick. Actually, Joe says, we're good. Since I lost my mom on Thanksgiving 2 weeks ago, I lost her mom, so we're gonna promise tomorrow enjoy it too. Yeah, for sure, man. And sorry about your loss, man. Sorry about your wife's loss too. Coming soon podcast in the house. What up, Broski? Let's go. Yes, sir. Appreciate you joining, man. Thank you so much. Brian says Bobby Boss was the key rigger on it. He said, don't tell me that, bro. Are you serious? Oof. Oof. Man, if you're saying it, now I'm worried. Now I'm actually worried. I'm more worried about this comment than that whole article right now. Okay, so again, guys, Brian works, making these shows, these movies. So yeah, and they're all fans. Don't think that this is people that they don't even know what Star Wars, is like at all. No, these are like hardcore fans that also work, and put their efforts and put their time and their effort into making the movie, into making the show. So Brian knows his stuff. All right. You should see his collection, by the way. Go check him out on Instagram. So yeah, man, that's an interesting comment. That is an interesting comment, man. Dang it, man. Ultra says, shit, you want to exists? Say it again, got canceled because how true trouble it is. Yeah, well, they kind of canceled themselves even before they started. Also, kind of surprised there's not more hype about the movie, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, 3 months away, we should be hearing all kinds of stuff. Like, should be seeing, right? Speaking of the Mando toys, the Stormtrooper Remnant impressed me, especially the helmet, and I wish that the helmet design for Imperial Army Stormtroopers not to be confused with for Imperial Army Troopers. I'm sorry. Yes, right. Yeah. So the Stormtrooper was pretty popular. Now that you mention it, and it was cool that we got to see it in the trailer as well. So it's a bit of a mixture, the helmet with the classic. Um, I guess the top and maybe like the visor is the classic snow trooper, but then the bottom is a little bit like the AT-AT driver. um, and then they changed the color. So yeah, I like it. I that figure is probably gonna be a pickup, and we saw him, during the that specific combination. At least we saw it during the trailer. So yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think. But like I said, now with Brian's comment, I for sure think we might be yeah, this might be maybe not the banger of a movie that we're gonna need. There's another one coming. We know next year for Starfighter, and I got my hopes up for that because I'm kind of hoping that they show us a little bit, a little bit more. How can I say it? A little bit more originality. Is that a word? It is now, I guess. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping we get a better approach to Star Wars, right? A little bit different take, not like necessarily like acolyte take, but somewhere better. But yes, man, now you got me thinking, Brian. And it seemed like the obvious choice to make a Mandalorian and Grogu movie because once again, the show is by far, I think, the most popular one. It's the one with the most seasons. It's the one that launched, the Disney era on Disney Plus. Um, Baby Yoda, Grogu is still very much loved. It's still very popular. Not nearly as much as in the beginning, but still. So yeah, it seemed like a safe bet. I mean, John Favreau directing, so that man can do no wrong, right? So Archer is saying, marketing budget cuts. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, are they already thinking like, you know what, the product's not even that great. Let's just save some money this year. We'll spill it over and do a better job at marketing. Starfighter. I don't know. Brian says, wasn't order that has their opinion. Oh yeah, for sure. I was with them from season 1 to 3. Then the movie in Manhattan studio just before they took off to London. So I trust him. Oof, yeah, yeah. It sounds like he knows what he's talking about. So yeah, man. If he was involved in seasons 1 to 3, he knows what the Mandalorian is about, right? Again, he helped make it pretty much. So, man, that is interesting. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Everybody has an opinion, and we're all entitled to it. And we might not agree, right? We might, once we watch the movie, we're like, dude, this is the best movie ever made. I don't know, could be. Or you know what, this is worthless. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see, obviously. But again, some of these comments, some of these articles are, and the lack of, right, the lack of marketing, right, it's kind of pointing all to the same spot. It's kind of pointing that we might not have a great movie like I kind of hoped we did. um okay, so another thing that that I wanted to cover here is Katie Sackhoff, has been talking about Bo-Katan. So also, in case you don't know, Katie Sackhoff is doing her first watch. I almost said rewatch, but she's actually doing her first watch through Battlestar Galactica, where she played, Starbuck. That's where I knew her from initially, and some of it is doing pretty good. So if you get a chance, go check that out. If you like Battlestar Galactica, she's basically going through the episodes. Anyway, so she's been talking about Bo-Katan, and I mean, really, they of course they asked her, what's next? You think she's gone? What's gonna happen? And she basically says Bo-Katan's not going anywhere. Um, if she's coming back, if what's gonna happen. So and if she would come back, right? Like Katie, I mean. And so she said, always, she's not dead. She ain't going nowhere. She can't because she's based off of Dave Filoni's wife. So I have job security forever and would be so pissed. Alluding to Dave Filoni's wife, right? Um, and then she went on to clarify Bo-Katan's name after Anne and a cat. Ant's cat Boogie, which is weird because people think that it was drafted after me. And I'm like, nope, that's Dave Wives. And just look enough alike and they could actually work. And, the article does go on to say that, it's a little bit tongue in cheek, but Bo Katan is still alive technically in the Mandiverse. And so she could always obviously pop up in a new story. But they are also citing the absence of Bo-Katan um, in the trailer, right, for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. So maybe they're gonna wait until season 4 if season 4 happens, um, or maybe they're just burying the lead, right? Which I'm okay with. I mean, I could go either way, to be honest with you, because I like the character of Bo-Katan. I don't particularly like the use of Bo-Katan in that last season. I thought season 2 was insanely good, and then season 3 definitely like fumbled quite a bit. But overall, the character, we've seen her from Clone Wars, we've seen her from the comic book, everything, and I love Katie Sackhoff. She's cool. I like her a lot. Like I said, I was a big fan just from Battlestar Galactica, 20 years ago, and so I want to see more of her. Yes, as long as it makes sense. Okay, I think that's the key here. As long as it makes sense for the story, which I don't think it did for a good chunk of season 3. Some of it, yes. Like for example, when they're going back to Mandalore, like yeah, of course, like she kind of had to be involved in that. But some of the other stuff, like her like losing the Mandalorians off screen, like off camera, and then she still got him back anyway. So like, what was the point of having her, not be the leader for a little bit? Um, and then the whole thing with the dark saber changing hands. I thought that they leaned too much into that, to be honest. But anyway, my point is that I enjoy the character. I don't know if the movie necessarily needs her. It is technically, well, what I hope it is that we go back to sort of that season 1 magic, with Mandalorian and Grogu, where it's kind of just them having fun. We're definitely gonna see other characters. I mean, Seb Aurelius is in the trailer. Sorry, I blanked out. We know that Carson Tiva, is gonna show up. Uh, you know, I just hope it's not like a carousel of cameos, right? Because I don't particularly want that either. Um, Again, make her show up when it makes sense, and I think they really gotta think hard on where the Mando's story is going. Uh, if and again, it's still an if we get a season 4, to be honest with you, I think it might be time to like end the Mandalorian show as it is. You can always have the characters, you can always use them in other shows, but the Mandalorian, show at its core, I don't know that they know where they're going. So I kind of feel they get one more season to sort of wrap it up in a good way. I hope in a good way, and then that's it. All right. Uh, Maybe Din Djarin, gets unalived. Maybe he gets lost somewhere, or he gets frozen in carbonite, or I don't know. But I kind of feel like they need to start capping that off. Like the change from season 2 to season 3 was, I don't know. It was surprising to say the least. Um, they've had plenty of time to think about what they want to do. Um, we've heard also that season 4 got cannibalized for the movie. I don't know how true that is, but I can believe something like that would happen because season 4 hasn't necessarily start production, and so again, it's we go back to that confidence thing, right? Like we go back to how confident Disney is on this property, and they I think they're just lying and waiting. I think they're waiting for is the movie gonna bring us dollars? Then we go ahead with season four. But again, in my opinion, if and when we get a season four, I think they need to start closing down that chapter, that book. Um, what do you get, think? Let me know. Okay, so let me get back here into the chat. So man, I just been rambling, haven't I? Action just feels I enjoyed her on the show Longmire. Yeah, actually, she's actually very popular for that. Last time that I saw her, um, I saw her from afar in Rebels Comic Con. I didn't get her autograph because I already got like two of her autographs actually, and like one or two pictures with her. I forget. Anyway, um, and she got there late, etc., etc. And there was a big line, so I didn't get her at Rebels Comic Con. But the last time that I saw her here in San Antonio, and she had like three pictures on her, on her table. You know how the actors put their pictures for you to choose for an autograph. She still had like three pictures from Longmire, which I thought was kind of surprising. Martha, how you doing? Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate you. OVP say hi to Martha. Is Collect says trailer looks great. Yeah, the trailer is great. That's all I'm saying. Like if they would have put that up on the Super Bowl, happy campers all around. And then maybe release, the little spoof like after the show, after the Super Bowl. I mean, but in this particular case, I think the order did kind of affect. OVP says I like Mandalorian season 3, going back to Mandalore and the Mythosaur, but the leadership stuff was weird. Yeah, yeah. Um, season 3 felt disjointed. We rallied at the end, which was good. I think they did close out strong. That episode with Paz Vizsla, I freaking love it. Um, there are some amazing things in season 3, but I can't say that the whole season, right, like felt right. Like I don't know, it was kind of funky. Um, hey, what is going on, man? How you doing? Star Wars Gent in the house saying hello there, General. Good to see you, man. It's been a little bit. Good. Appreciate you joining. Actually, just says I thought Grogu should have stayed with Luke and have Mando go off on some more adventure solo and have him check back with Luke and Grogu. Yeah, me too. I felt um, that separation didn't last enough. I agree with you. I don't think they should have been together already. Have Mando go on his adventures, have Grogu, get some training, maybe go on like one mission that it goes south, right? And then that's when Daddy Mando needs to show up. OBP says, I think they'll touch on Mandalorian and Bo, but I'd like to see more about what's going on with reclaiming the planet. Yeah, me too. Hey, Star Wars Gen says Obi. Brian says, too many chips in the kitchen at Disney. Yeah, it really sounds like it, man. It really, really sounds like it. Hello there, OBP says Star Wars Gen. Agreed. I enjoy Bo on the show. Do you think the Darksaber will come back? Yeah, I think it will. I think it might. I think it might. I don't think it'll be the same. I think, if Disney has an opportunity to create a new dark saber so they can sell many, many more toys that I'm gonna buy, obviously. Um, I think they'll take that. I think they'll take that opportunity. Agree with Action Joe. Yeah, for sure. Hey, we got the Red 5 Cantina in the house. What is going on, brother? Appreciate you joining, man. Thank you so much. So, guys, if you don't know, this is Brett, our good friend Brett. Bub, for all those you watching vertically. So go check out his YouTube by the name of Red 5 Cantina. Also check him out on Whatnot. He's been killing it out there. So yeah, if you guys are into cards, if you're into vintage collecting, I should say, because it's actual vintage Kenner. Definitely go check out Brett. Always good to see you, man. Ultra saying hi to Brett. Hey, Brett says OBP. So yeah, bottom line is that Katie Sackhoff believes Bo-Katan is alive and well, and more than likely will come back. To which I say that kind of makes sense, right? I mean, it hasn't really. it hasn't really been shown, or we don't really know what has happened. Um, so maybe they'll save her for season 4. Do we think she gets a spin-off? Do we think the Mandalorian show uh gets done with Din again? He might be unalive, captured, frozen, lost somewhere, and then Bo-Katan becomes the main character, the title character Mandalorian, right? Could happen, I guess. Okay, another bit of news that we got is they were talking to Sam Witwer, and Sam Witwer was talking, of course, about Maul Shadow Lord, and he had some pretty interesting things to say. Um, he basically described how Maul has changed since we last saw him, and he said, and I quote, "He's confused and a little apprehensive. We pick up after the Clone Wars, obviously. The Empire has taken over, and Maul's reassessing everything. There were plans in place that were supposed to insulate him from the changes when the Empire came to power, and a lot of the people that were supposed to be there for him were not. He's getting back on his feet. Sorry, the dust is clearing, and he's looking around at the Empire, the thing he and his master had been working towards since he was an apprentice, and thinking, is this what Palpatine had in mind? How do I feel about this?" Not groundbreaking information, but confirmation more than anything. Um, he also said Maul understands now that guys is the root of his suffering, meaning Palpatine. In Shadow Lord, he sees it even clearer. Everywhere he looks in the Empire, he sees Palpatine's hand. If Maul's going to shake his fist at him, he has to believe he's somehow superior to Palpatine. If he's not, then he deserves everything that happened to him. I kind of like that. That gives a little bit more insight. It's like, hey, it's almost like I can't stop moving because if I do, I admit that every bad thing that happened to me was well deserved, right? He also says in the opening episodes, you see him pulling strings trying to build new power base. His plan is ambitious, but he struggles with whether he's the puppet master or the guy who goes and take care of things himself. He doesn't delegate well. Funny. He's so used to being the one who handles everything personally that he often still goes to do it when maybe he shouldn't. Delegation is very difficult. He doesn't trust easily. That sounds more like a manager, review. But again, that's basically what he said, regarding Maul and where we're gonna find him right at the beginning. Um, so he says as well that he's learning to use words, manipulation, and persuasion. He's realizing there's responsibility behind every action. That's new territory for Maul. He was trained to hate and destroy the Jedi without ever questioning it. Now he's looking at the galaxy going, boy, we could sure use a Jedi Knight or two. At least with the Jedi, you knew where they stood. There's something to respect there. This empire. He sees no value there, just the naked grab for influence, power, and money. Principles are gone, and he looks at that with a certain level of distaste. He may not have agreed with the Jedi Knights, but at least they had principles. You knew who you were dealing with, and you could reason with that. There's no reasoning with the Empire. So I think that's kind of funny. I would actually be in a, I would actually like to see something like a minute of Maul talking to whoever his new apprentice is regarding the Jedi, right? Like if we see him like shift his opinion, right, and be like, you know what? Yeah, I freaking hated the guys, but at least I knew, right, what they stood for. At least I knew how to handle them. At least I knew that they stood for something, right? And like Sam is saying, there is something admirable about that. But with the Empire, all bets are off. So about the subplot, he says, we built a subplot that wasn't in the scripts, and what came out of it is one of my favorite things we've ever done with the character. It's strange, emotional, and absolutely Star Wars. We've tried things you wouldn't imagine. I like this. Like me shooting reference footage for complex emotional scenes. So the animators see how my eyes and expressions work. Dave Filoni gave us the mandate to do everything better: acting, scripts, stories, cinematography, sound. He told us to push everything further. We all wanted to make this the best thing we've ever done. So, can we say that Sam Witwer is, you know, Darth Maul live action, kinda getting there? Now that one former Darth Maul named Ray Park is probably out, pretty pretty canceled, I would think. So I thought it was interesting that he brought that up, that he actually did some mocap. Famously, Ray Park did mocap for that battle with Ahsoka, right, for the last season of Clone Wars. So it's interesting that Sam has done some mocap on his own. Um, what he's sharing is that it's been more on the expressions, right? But I don't know. We're getting closer, right, to having Sam Witwer painted red and with a double bladed lightsaber. All right, let me jump back here into the chat. Brad says Bo-Katan becomes Mandalorian next chapter, maybe retitled though. Yeah. I'm kind of thinking they're gonna they're gonna change it somehow. Hey, Brad says nerd affiliated. We got Hama. So what has been said about Andor? Sorry, I've been looking while cleaning. No worries. Mostly except for more, way more than anything else this year. Yeah, absolutely, man. Maul also knew all this was coming, but maybe deep down he didn't think it would actually happen. Yeah, you know what? Again, I hope we get to see, I hope we get to see more of that, like more of the Jeep, like cheese whiz. I did not think it was gonna go this way, even though, like you said, we've been planning for it, but I wonder if he saw the Jedi as just too big, we know he saw them as arrogant, right? And I don't know if I can say that he saw them as weak. I don't think he considered them weak per se. But there was tens of thousands of Jedi right throughout the galaxy. So maybe, like you said, maybe in the back of his mind, he's like, you know what? While individually, the Jedi like suck, when you have them all together, it's a powerful institution, right? It's a powerful doctrine or religion. It's a powerful influence, right, in the galaxy. So maybe Palpatine and me and I are not enough, right? Are not enough to bring this whole machine down. So yeah, that's an interesting point, Archer. I think you're right. I think you might be right. Um, and again, I hope that we get, maybe not a full on like monologue about it, but I think it would be interesting if we get a little bit, juxtaposition of what he's been um, thinking, all these years. So, last thing that I want to talk about today is a little bit regarding, one of our favorite characters by the name of Andor. So, Marvel is celebrating the 10th anniversary of Rogue One with a series of comic books. And yes, Rogue One is 10 years old this year, which, wow. Wow. Um, yeah, anyway, that took me back. So, apparently there's going to be, some issues centered around Rogue One characters. Um, so revealed Rogue One casting Andor #1 kicks off the party this May. In casting story, the timeline between the end of Andor and Rogue One squishes down even more as we see him arrive on Kafrene before he kills Tivik in the opening moments of the film. Then in June, it's Jyn Erso takes the spotlight from the Wobani prison, followed by Saw Gerrera in July, Chirrut and Base in August, and finally Darth Vader in September. Each issue will have a different writer and artist, which I think is pretty. That's kind of fun, right? So when it comes to Andor, if you guys remember, the the show ended when he was already heading out to Kafrine to meet, sorry, with Tivik. So I'm guessing there was some sort of detour, right? And the comic book is gonna squish in just those like 2 minutes, and that's the story I'll be telling. So they're basically one shots, right? Centered around each character. So hopefully they'll be fun. Hopefully they'll bring a little bit more story regarding Andor. We got Jin, which I still think we should have at least seen in Andor proper. But anyway, and then of course Saw Gerrera, because you gotta have Saw Gerrera, right? And Chirrut Base, which I kind of feel we should have seen more of, not necessarily in Andor, because it didn't really make sense. He never met him before that we know of anyway. But yeah, Chirrut and Base were like by far my favorite duo, in Rogue One. Like sort of that, married couple bickering that they had, but then when it came time to throw hands, they were on it. So there you have it. They are going to have a few issues to celebrate the 10th year anniversary of Rogue One, starting in May with Cassian. Then June will be Jin Urso. Then July will be Saw Gerrera. August will be Chirrut and Base. And finally, Darth Vader in September. So check them out. This will be um, from Marvel, and so might get pretty interesting. We might get a few surprises here and there. So we'll see. Okay, jumping back into the chat one last time. Big John says this is why Darth Maul is great. Yeah, man. Darth Maul has like a lot of untold stories still. I enjoyed both seasons. It's crazy how far it's come. But come on, bro. Rogue One, in my opinion, the best movie Disney has put out under. Yep, for sure. For sure. All right. Well, there you have it, troopers. That is gonna do it for this episode of The High Ground. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate y'all. Um, let me know. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about Disney kind of not being very confident with the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Um, yeah, that's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see here. Less than 3 months away from the movie. We'll see. We'll see if they crank it up, with the marketing campaign. But so far, pretty tame. Pretty tame. Um, Also, I would greatly appreciate it if you leave us your like on this live stream to show, the mythical YouTube algorithm that we are having fun here on a Wednesday night. And then last thing, please guys, if you are able, um, visit I'm not even showing it. Here we go. Please stop by, Scott and Janine's GoFundMe page. Again, Scott got the pretty tough, news, right? Not even a week ago. This was like what, 5 days ago. Um, that he does have colon cancer. Um, yeah, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys can stop by. Once again, if you're in a position to donate, every little bit helps. Everybody knows it is freaking expensive, right? Hospital bills, let alone surgery, things like that, and they had already been obviously struggling before from that visit by the Widowmaker, right? Um, and if not, again, don't feel bad if you cannot, donate in through the GoFundMe. But if you can, please share the link, right? Maybe somebody that through social media um, can is in a position to donate, and we would greatly appreciate it for that. So thank you again, and go shoot Janine and Scott a message. Just let them know they're thinking that you are thinking about them. Sorry. And I would say probably don't expect a reply. Janine is obviously more than exhausted. um Scott, even more so probably. So, but just keep him in your thoughts and good vibes. um and yeah, just a reminder, that link for the GoFundMe is here on the chat. But you know what, I'll do one last um drop in here, and so it should be here towards the end of the chat now. Okay, so last comment. Arch says, Rogue One might get me back in theaters if they do dude. If they do a release, oh, for sure. My bad, I wasn't that active in chat. No worries, man. I appreciate you stopping by, man. Don't ever apologize for that. Good night, everyone. Good show, General. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Whoa, look at that.
Wait a minute. How did this happen? We're smarter than this.
Apparently not.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, guys. Always much appreciated, any contribution here to the channel. And what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab that and add it on to my donation for Scott. So thank you for that. Yes, donate to Scott. Yeah, thank you, Archer. Appreciate you, man. Have a good night. Says is thank you, man. Appreciate you. And once again, last comment here is the link to that GoFundMe. So please go check it out. Please share it. All of that good stuff. Also, please check us out over on social media. You know how it is: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, all that stuff. If you type in General Kenobi's Bunker, in theory, you should see all of this beauty. So thank you again. Appreciate y'all. Have a great rest of your week. Have an awesome weekend. Stay warm for those of you under footsteps of snow, apparently. I don't know how that happens. Anyway, love y'all, and I'll catch you on the next one.